The president is addressing a crowd of supporters live in Parma, Ohio. This is his third speech in Ohio today. Let's listen in.
Sutton is here. And Marcy Kaptur is here. And I could not be prouder to have, as one of my campaign co-chairs, your former governor, the outstanding Ted Strickland is here. Oh, and the House Senate President, okay. Now, I just want to, first of all, say thank you guys for taking your time to come out. I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July. We had a little barbecue in my backyard. It was little. Had a few fireworks. Some of you know that Malia turned 14 yesterday. And she is just an incredible young lady, just like Sasha is. Now, she used to be young enough where I could convince her that all these fireworks were for her birthday. But she doesn't believe me anymore. And Michelle sends her love. Malia was having a sleepover with some of her friends, and Michelle thought, you know, you can't just have a house full of girls and no parental supervision. So just letting you know. But she says hi, the girls say hi, and both say hi. Now, you may not have noticed, but we're in the middle of campaign season here. And this will be, one way or another, this will be my last campaign. Which gets me to thinking about my first campaign. And, you know, I was a lawyer, and I was teaching law, and, you know, this seat, the state Senate seat came up, and I told Michelle, you know, some people had talked to me about running for office. What'd she think? And she said, well, that's a dumb idea. But after I explained to her why I thought it might make sense for me to run, she joined in. And, you know, we didn't have a budget. You know, we didn't have TV ads. You know, we printed a bunch of stuff at Kinko's. And we had a few friends who volunteered, and we started knocking on doors, and I'd go in front of the grocery store and I'd shake hands, and you know, we would march in parades. In fact, the 4th of July parade in Hyde Park back in Chicago, they had a tradition where they made folks who were in office or running for office dress up. And somebody had an outfit for me. It was sort of like a Minuteman outfit with like a hat and you know, sort of the cut-off pants. And my legs are kind of skinny, so I didn't look very good in them. And then, you know, I won that race, and so I served in the state Senate, and then I got the idea of running for the United States Senate after serving 8 years in the state Senate. And I decided to go to Michelle and ask her what she thought, and she said, well, that's a dumb idea. But because I had had a chance as a state senator to travel the whole state of Illinois, which is a lot like Ohio, you know, it's a mix of big cities and rural communities and folks from every walk of life. And I started just traveling the state. And I'd go to, you know, state fairs, and we'd go to county fairs, and we'd stop in little towns and meet folks and go to VFW halls. And what I realized during that Senate race, and what I realized when I first ran for the state Senate, was the reason I got into politics was because in this country, there's this core American idea that we celebrated yesterday, and that is, if you work hard, if you take responsibility for yourself and your family, and you don't get discouraged when you hit some setbacks, you can make it if you try. The basic American bargain that says it doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, where you worship. The idea is that you don't have to be born into fame or fortune. If you're willing to apply yourself and work hard, you can make it. You can follow your dreams. And the reason I got into that first race way back when, and the reason I ran for the Senate, and ultimately the reason I ran for president, was because that had been available for my family. You know, my grandparents participated in World War II. My grandfather fought in Patton's Army, and my grandmother worked on a bomber assembly line. But when my grandfather came back, he was able to study on the GI Bill. And they were able to buy their first home with some help from the FHA. America gave them that opportunity. Didn't give them a handout, but gave them that chance. And when my mom, a single mom, was raising 2 kids and trying to get her education, there were grants and loans available, and she could instill a love of learning in me and my sister, and we had a chance to get a great education. And you look at Michelle's family, her dad was what was called a stationary engineer at the water filtration plant in Chicago, blue-collar worker. Even though he had MS, he'd have to wake up an hour earlier than everybody else to get dressed and get to the job, but he never missed a day of work. And Michelle's mom, she stayed at home raising the kids and then later became a secretary. They never had a lot, but they had a chance to give their kids this great education. And so my whole life and Michelle's whole life was an example of this American dream. This idea that, if you work hard, you can find a job that pays a living wage. And then you can afford a home. You won't go bankrupt when you get sick. You can retire with some dignity and respect. You can take a vacation. May not be fancy. You might not be going to some fancy resort, but you can go with your kids and enjoy each other's company and see the amazing sights of this country. And the problem was that you could feel over the last decade how that dream was slipping away for too many people. They're working harder and harder, but it seemed like wages weren't going up, incomes weren't going up, opportunities weren't increasing, cost of health care was going up, cost of college was going up, gas prices going up, groceries going up. So that basic bargain felt like it was slipping away from too many people. That's what got me into politics. That's why I ran for the state Senate. That's why I entered my first political race. That's why I'm running my last political race.
That was the president addressing his supporters live in Parma, Ohio. Coming up, the right-wing media goes into attack mode and turns its sights on Mitt Romney's campaign. Sam Stein has the latest. And Ann Romney says President Obama's campaign strategy is kill her husband. Kelly Goff, Patricia Murphy, and Susan Del Percio will weigh in on that and much more. Stay tuned.